Yeah. There we go. Now we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Dangerously Smart podcast. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Sylvester. Those close to me may know me as Ace Triple, and those on Twitter will know me as basically Ace. And with me here, I have the best in the world, the best around. Nothing's ever going to take him down. What's your name, young man?
Let me think. I have so many aliases. We'll just go with Glenn for now.
Glenn, welcome to a historic episode of Dangerously Smart. I want to apologize to our fans. We don't have Mike with us today. He will be here for our Nintendo and overall E3 coverage. So we're going to have a lot of stuff rolling out, but Mike's not with us for now. He's just going to get the two pillars of
He's still
Dangerously
alive.
Smart.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He's kicking in my trunk. But before we get started on this E3 coverage, I want to bring up a few things. One being the 90s podcast is still coming and we're still taking suggestions. So if you guys have anything you loved, anything that we kind of left out, that's still coming. Please, by all means, send us some love, show us some, give us some shout outs. You can go on our Twitter, and our Twitter is dangerously smart 314. Oh my god, I suck at this. This is what Mike is for. Look us up. Just look up Dangerous Smart on Twitter. You know what it is. We're on Instagram and all that too. And we're on Facebook. Dangerous Smart 314 Facebook. Anyways, this is our Sony press conference. Glenn, are you excited?
Yeah, yeah, I really am because last year I missed out on a lot of PlayStation stuff. I really didn't pay too much attention to it. Like
Hmm.
I'm more of an Xbox guy,
Hmm.
and people always make jokes. Well, people who listen to the podcast will know that I have both the one and the four, and my one and my four doesn't get any love for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
plays
just
the
sits
PS4
there.
like once
Yeah,
a day. Once a month.
I just download the free games and just let them sit, save it for a rainy day.
Right. Well, maybe that'll change now. We got Sony coverage coming up.
It won't.
Gotta forewarn people, this is gonna be mostly gamer centric. We do try to switch it up, talk about movie shows and whatnot, but E3 is a big event. It's the biggest event in gaming, so these next few podcasts are gonna be gaming influenced. So if you're interested in anything else, please check out our backlog. We have what, 2 years of content?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff indeed. Anyways, let's get it in. I want to talk about probably the smallest announcement at E3 is carding of PlayStation. They have a new media player coming. Actually, it's already out, so you can finally stream your content from your media center at home. You can finally play background music on your PlayStation. It's a big request thing, but I think it's kind of weird they announced it at E3 like it's huge. So yeah, that's coming. PS4 media player. Glenn, I hear your speaker, so turn it down. Thank you. So the first thing they showed off was The Last Guardian, and it's finally officially coming out in 2016. It looks amazing as usual. Um, so it's cool they re-unveiled that because I think they unveiled that like 4 or 5 years ago, and it just been very quiet on it. Now they have a release window, and it's officially for PlayStation 4 now. It's not a PlayStation 3 game anymore, and it seems like it's coming along well. So keep an eye out for that. The trailer they showed at E3 is great, and from what I hear, they're showing like some behind the scenes footage of it. So if you look online, you may be able to find some cool stuff. Anyways, The Last Guardian looked pretty awesome. Guerrilla Games, the makers of Killzone 1, 2, 3, and whatever one was on PlayStation 4, they announced their new franchise, their new IP, Horizon Zero Dawn, which looks amazing. It has the usual like Killzone aesthetic where it's just like straight up beautiful, and it's like a third person action hunter kind of game. You play as this lady, don't know her name, and you're fighting like these robotic, like you're hunting like these robots or something like that. It's really awesome. They showed a trailer. It's pretty, and it seems like the fresh direction for Gorilla. So I'm excited about that. They
Yeah,
haven't really been able. Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn. Go ahead.
no, I'm really looking forward to that game. Like the reason that I have both, that I bought both systems,
Hmm.
is because PlayStation had a lot of exclusives that I wanted to play. For instance, Uncharted.
Right.
If you look, if you're my friend on PlayStation, Stormtrooper 02, you will see that that's the only game that I've ever beat on
Hmm.
PlayStation since we could get trophies.
Right.
I love the Uncharted series, and I was like, yo, when Uncharted 4 comes out, I gotta have it, no
Right.
question. So that was the main reason I bought a PS4. And then there were a couple other games like Killzone. And, just a bunch of exclusives that I don't want to miss because I don't have both systems. So that's why I bought both this time.
Hmm. Yeah, I can definitely understand. That's why I have all the systems myself, because I just like to. I don't like to miss out. I remember back in the day, I had a GameCube, and I thought it was the greatest system ever. Then I finally got a PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and I was like, wow, I was missing out. So, I mean, if you can afford to do it, buy out. But if you can't, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Anyways, let's go on to the next thing. Hitman reboot. It's just called Hitman. It's from IO Interactive, the creators of all the other Hitman. The beta will come to PS4 exclusively. I don't know why people care. It'll be interesting to see what online is like with Hitman, because I don't think they've done that before. Um, so yeah, that's going to be a PS4 exclusive, the beta. They also showed off Street Fighter 5,
5, yeah.
and they debuted some new characters. Cammy, well, not new characters, but recurring characters. They debuted Cammy for the first time, who looks awesome in HD. Birdie, I don't know if you remember him from Alpha, but that was a weird pick, and he's gonna be in there. Um, and Charlie from, I think, Street Fighter 3. He looks like Guile except he wears glasses, and
Right.
sometimes he's also Blanca. So game looks good as usual. So yeah, the beta's coming in July. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out. It seems to me, and Glenn, tell me what you think about this. This seems like there's a lot more betas than usual.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. I
Mm,
really don't. I know that there's like not Battlefield, but the Division, which finally has a release date for the beta, but still a release date for the game.
mm-hmm,
That has a beta. Gears of War has a beta,
mm-hmm.
and I actually got the invite on my Xbox. I don't know if I can say that or not, but I did, so it's too
Me
late.
too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of betas floating around, and there's some Xbox stuff I want to talk about, but that's later. So yeah,
Right, right, right. But yeah, I noticed that a part of a lot of people's E3 presentation, they're like beta, beta, beta. I think it's positive because there's a lot of games like the Assassin's Creed came out last year that probably could have used a little beta refinement. I was in the crew beta and I hated it. I wish they would have push that game back like a year and really iron out the kinks. So it's a good thing because they're getting it out there. People can play it, so people can see what it's about. But at the same time, it's weird that they're using that as marketing because we're testing out your product. But whatever, we're nerds, so
you
whatever.
know something funny? I can see your Halo.
You can see my Halo.
for
Yeah,
for those
I
podcast
woke up like
listeners,
this.
yeah, for people who are listening to this and not looking at it, Sylvester has this lamp right over his head, looks like a little halo. So it's kind of funny. All right, but moving along, move along.
Yeah, moving along. So, No Man's Sky, they showed that again, which I'm surprised. I figured they'd take a little time off of No Man's Sky, but they showed it
Yeah,
again. And the cool thing about this time is they actually showed what it would be like objective wise. Because the big question around No Man's Sky, it's a game with endless possibility. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. There's literally like millions of planets, and within those planets, there's millions of individual characters and individual things to do. But when you have that much choice, how will it be? With objectives. You know what I mean? Because
right.
gamers, we always have to have an objective in front of us. So they showed off No Man's Sky, and the really cool thing they did is they just went to a random planet. They didn't even plan it, or at least they claimed they didn't plan it. And yeah, they just kind of played around, discovered some new species, got into some fights. They showed off how
Combat.
like the damage system, yeah, in combat. So it's pretty cool. I'm still really interested in it. Don't forget that that is a PS4 console exclusive, but it's still coming to PC as well. So all my PC gamers, definitely keep an eye out for that. That looks awesome. Media Molecule came out and they showed off their new IP called Dreams. And I'm not even sure if it's a new IP really because Media Molecule they um, they have a way of working on things and it not like it just being like a concept, you know. So they showed off Dreams, which looks awesome. Basically, you can create anything with your DualShock controller, and anything you can draw, you can bring to life, and you can turn that into a game. You can turn it into a painting. You can do a lot with it, and there's a lot of potential there. That's one of those games I would definitely want to get hands on because they made it look so easy and user friendly in the trailer. Well, the little gameplay because they actually sat back and played it for a minute, but I don't know if that'll be the case, in real life. So that's definitely something I would like to get my hands on. Um, yeah, maybe they should do a beta for that one too. But it looks interesting. It's probably one of the most unique games I've ever seen. Similar to Project Spark, except more artsy, I guess. So a lot of potential behind that. Firewatch, which is a really interesting game, is going to debut first on PS4. Basically, that game is it's hard to say. It's like isolation, and apparently there's few people in there. Watch the trailer. I can't describe it. It looks really interesting and really unique, but it's hard to describe Firewatch by that little 1 minute trailer they showed. But it's definitely on my watch list. I would say my sleeper list, maybe even. Glenn, anything to add before I move on?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the No Man's Sky announcement a little more. That dude just seems so like, I'm here. This is my game. Look at it. Check it out. You like it? All right, bye.
Yeah, the thing about the No Man's Sky, that team that makes that game, they worked on Joe Danger, and that team is composed of about 3 to 5 people. And the thing about him, from industry experts, from what I hear, he he's kind of tired of promoting the game, and he just wants to work on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, he was very, yeah, this is the game. Here I am at E3 again. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
still yeah, I'm still excited about the game. I think it has the potential to be the next Minecraft, like the revolution in video games. But at the same time, it has potential to be like Watch Dogs, suck ass. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, 'cause Watch Dogs, when they announced that, I know people heard my dismay of Watch Dogs, but before that game came out, I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever. It's going
Right.
to be phenomenal. And then when I played it, I was like, I want my money back. Oh, I can't get it back. How much trading value can I get?
Right.
Nah, it's not bad. I'll pay half for a new game. All right.
Yeah, and it's funny. I almost traded it in because I have like the limited edition that I unboxed. So everybody check that out. Um, and it was worth $2.50. So I didn't trade it in. Honestly, I don't think the game was horrible, but I do think it was kind of typical. There's a lot of aspects about it that made it unique, but I'm more excited about the potential sequel, which I thought they would announce at this E3, honestly, but they didn't. So we'll see what happens. They already said, Watch Dogs is going to be our franchise. And if you think back to Assassin's Creed, that first game stumbled. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, and then it kind of picked up steam from there. So I have faith in Ubisoft. One thing I'll say about them is, yeah, they're a big franchise. They love their sequels, but at the same time, as far as value per dollar, they put a lot into it, um, and they're pretty consistent. So I have faith in them. I think they'll do okay. I'll probably see them in next E3 as far as the next Watch Dogs. Either that or what's the Germany one? Is that like What's the Germany convention? Do you know?
Oh, Gamescom.
Gamescom. Yeah, they might be at Gamescom since they're a European company.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Anyways, um, they showed off the new Destiny expansion. Um, well, they really just more talked about it than
I
showed it
do
off.
have a question about that.
What about?
So I got on GameStop earlier today, and I saw that there's a new Destiny coming out. Well, not new Destiny, but they have like this whole new pack. It's like $80,
Right.
and it has like a special edition and everything. So is this going to be the first DLC with the special edition? Is that pretty much what we're looking at here?
They didn't really talk about it in the actual press conference. They just called it an expansion. But
Yeah,
from what I hear, because there's a document that leaked prior to all this, and basically like the three expansions that came out that are out now were like the small fries, and then this next one is going to be like almost a whole new game as far as content. So that might be what they're doing, but I don't know how that's going to work. Do I have to have the original Destiny to play this? I don't know.
that's a game that I wish I played more.
I wish you played it more too because I still have that game. Actually, I have it digitally, so I can't get rid of it. So yeah,
I'd definitely be down for playing it again because I do want to beat it. I do want to beat that game.
ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't even beaten the game. He hasn't even beaten the game. I'm not high enough level to play the DLC that I own, which pisses me off because they shouldn't make it like that. In a world where most people don't even finish games, you're telling me I have to like be crazy into this game in order to play your DLC that I prepaid for? But you live and you learn. That's why you don't buy season passes sometimes.
Speaking of, oh god, the whole Batman season pass fiasco.
Yeah.
What's so many fiascos? Since people were mad about, yeah, it's kind of expensive.
The one thing about that that's interesting, so that's from Warner Brothers Games, right? And they're doing that a lot with their games. Like they have something else that is coming out, and I can't think of it. I don't know. Anyways, but I was thinking it's funny how Witcher has all this free DLC, and that's a Warner Brothers game, but Batman doesn't have free DLC. Oh, I'm thinking about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, their DLC is expensive as well. Because in
Uh,
that combat pack, you get four characters and some skins for $30.
yeah,
I don't know if that's the best deal in the world.
it's not.
Yeah, like remember the good old times where all they wanted was like $5 or $10 or
Already
ten.
good old times when the whole game was given to you the day you buy it.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of examples, like the stuff they did with the Elder Scrolls, with their DLC. That was perfect for me. Like, that was almost like a second game in itself. There are a lot of situations where like the DLC is totally like amazing. Like Mario Kart 7 DLC is awesome. I mean, I get to play as a Link. You know what I mean? Oh, is that Mario Kart 8? What's the latest Mario Kart
Mario
on
Kart
Wii U?
8.
Yeah, so there are situations where the DLC can be awesome, but at the same time, there's situations where it's not so awesome. So yeah, um, let's move on though.
All right,
So Glenn, try not to poop
I,
yourself.
I already did, and I want to announce this.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you that excited?
Oh no, not that.
They announced the new Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Once again, it's going to have exclusive missions, just like the Pirate on PS4. Um, so they seem to do that. I think last year Xbox had some exclusive missions on it, and this year it's going to be PlayStation. I doubt that it'll be anything significant, and it'll probably be free after 3 months. But there you go. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, definitely check it out. This one looks interesting. I'll definitely say they're finally letting you play as the female antagonist, which they haven't done since the PlayStation Vita version of Assassin's Creed. So they are doing some new things, and during all their interviews about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, everybody's like, "Is the game gonna work?" Because last year's Assassin's Creed was it was flawed at launch. I
Yeah,
definitely say that.
I remember when Mike bought that game. He was He was mad.
You know, he barely played it. I wonder if he still even has it because I didn't even know he was an Assassin's Creed guy, but he barely even played that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
Dragon Age came out, so it kind of consumed him.
I still need to beat that game.
I still need to play that game.
Yeah, we're both we're not good gamers.
Yeah, you know what game I bought, and this is like the most expensive game that I bought, and I've never played it. The
Oh,
Halo Master Chief Collection. I only have one achievement on that game. I only have 5 gamer score on that game.
well, if to be fair, if Xbox Party System wasn't so messed up, we would have actually been able to play that game. Because I think we tried to play that game a few times, but we couldn't party up.
I do want to play that game. I do want to beat 4 because 4 is the only Halo I've never beat.
It'll happen. It will happen. I understand what you're saying too, because I've got what is that? Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 still in the plastic. So yeah, it's funny too because I got a friend who's always talking about how I don't play enough games, and I'm like, yeah, you might have a good point because if I got games still in the plastic, I can donate that to the poor. Anyways, there's a new Final Fantasy announced, World of Final Fantasy. This is a really unique concept. So it seems to me like an amalgamation of different characters from the Final Fantasy universe, both good guys and bad guys. And it's a whole new take. It's on PS4 and Vita. It's kind of cutesy, but it looks interesting. They didn't really talk much about it. They just showed off a little trailer. It had Cloud in it and a few other characters, and I'm interested. Anything Final Fantasy, I'll definitely give it a glance. Weird considering all of the Final Fantasy news that they added another Final Fantasy to it, but whatever. And Vita owners should be excited because that's like the only thing to look forward to. Like Sony doesn't even have any Vita games really coming out
You know,
besides the. Oh, go ahead.
I still want to beat it.
You should get a Vita. I thought they would drop the price of the Vita. Like that was a big rumor. Like the rumor was that the Vita was going to be dropped to $100, and I didn't think that would happen. I think it would have been dropped to like 130, 150. But
What is
no,
it
the
now?
Vita is still like 180, I think, or 170. It's an awesome system. You should definitely check it out, especially if you have PlayStation Plus, because it's just free games. Um, but yeah, it should be lowered. The price should be lowered.
Yeah, I mean, I want one. Like, those are the two things that I want. I want a Vita and a Wii U.
You know, with all this NX talk, I don't know if it's a good time to buy a Wii U, especially since they won't drop the price on the Wii U.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm really waiting on. I'm really, really waiting on the price drop because
Yeah.
I was like, I want one because I really want to play Hyrule Warriors. Granted, that's coming out on the PlayStation. I mean, the coming out on the you know what? Just save that
You
for
can talk
Nintendo.
about that. Yeah, that's Mike's territory.
Yeah, just save that. All right, so let's talk about my favorite. Well, one of my favorite PlayStation announcements. I've been waiting on this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready to limit break. Final Fantasy VII is happening.
That
And
would
it's
be a little bit more exciting if we had like music and sound effects to go with it. We could put like a
would it have the victory ringtone?
there you go. Good
Oh
talk.
god, I can't wait to hear that.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, but man, you don't understand like how long I've been waiting on this game. Because Final Fantasy VII is like my gateway RPG.
Hmm.
Well, time-based RPG. Because as a child, I didn't have the patience to play a turn-based game.
Right.
Like action RPGs, like Zelda and stuff, I was all for it. But
Right.
when it came to turn-based stuff, I was like, let me stay over here.
Right.
I don't want to do the turn-based stuff because that was kind of boring. But when Seven came out, that's when I was in middle school, and it's funny because I was in seventh grade. But I never forget it. But when that game came out, I I was consumed. I was super consumed when that game came out. And my dad, he had bought me the strategy guide. So I didn't want to look at the strategy guide because I didn't want to feel like I was cheating. But I would take the strategy guide to school and just like read through it and just like read up on like how you can combine all your materia and just everything about it, man. I love every aspect of that game. And it's funny because like what I would do, I named myself in the game. Like I played through the game twice. The first time I played through the game, I played through as all the characters with their original names. But when I played through the second time, I turned Tifa into a girl that I liked, and Ares was the other girl that I liked. And then I changed like Barrett to like my friend, and stuff like that. Just changed their names.
Hmm.
So can you do that on the current Final Fantasy? Change the names?
No, because they all have like voice work now. Unless you
Okay.
play like the 3DS ones, you can change their names.
Okay. But
Yeah.
speaking of which, the trailer looked amazing. Like, I knew what it was when I saw it. I was like, yeah, this is it. It's
Right.
happening. How
So
do
I
you?
have to pose to you the question that I've had posed to me ever since this Sony press conference by multiple people. Um, will this satiate the fans? Because this is something that was teased since the PlayStation 3. I don't know if you remember that little trailer where they showed off a high definition Final Fantasy 7. They're like, this is just concept work. So will this actually satiate the fans?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, nerds are a hard group of people to please.
Hmm.
Um, it'll take a lot. Like it has to be amazing, because for one, we'll shit on anything. Like, even if it's good, we'll find. How they on Jurassic Park, they said life will find a way. We will find a way to shit on something. Like no matter what it is, even if it's like the greatest game ever. Like when Master Chief, not Master Chief, when Halo comes out, people are gonna find a way to shit on it. When Battlefront comes out, people are gonna find a way to shit on it. So there's gonna be something about Final Fantasy VII that people are not gonna like. Now, the one thing I do think people are gonna like is they're gonna mainly say, "I waited that long for this." That's gonna probably be the biggest complaint, but I think I'm gonna love it because Final Fantasy VII was, like I said, was my first.
Yeah, the thing that is interesting to me. So this is an older game, PlayStation 1. That's a lot of generations ago, right?
Right?
Are you going to update the combat mechanics? Are you going to add voice work? Are you going to have some of the things that were kind of weird in PlayStation 1? Like, I don't remember if you remember the mission where Cloud had a cross dress.
Yeah, it was
Like,
funny because I was on Twitter, one of the rare times I did get on there,
hmm.
and somebody had shared a picture, and that was said, "Can you? I can't wait to see this scene in HD." And it was Cloud looking at all the men in towels with their shirts off.
Right.
It was like we just can't wait to see that scene in HD. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to turn out because it's going to be funny.
Right.
And with all the Caitlyn Jenner stuff going on, I mean, that's what's happening today. So
Do you think they should do the Resident Evil route? Because like with Resident Evil, they had two different control schemes. They had the classic control scheme, if you want the tank controls. Then they had the modern control scheme, where it's more like a modern video game. So
uh,
if they were to remake it, do you think they should have a classic setting where everything mechanic wise is set to classic, and then they have a more modern take as well, or should everything be classic?
oh dear God, that's a tough question. Off the top of my head right now, I'm going to say that it should be classic, and the only reason being is that I really love the way the materia system was, the way leveling was, getting all the new swords, limit breaks, and I really like the way that you had to like do battle management. Like, am I going to heal this person this time? Am I going to cast life? Phoenix Downs, whatever.
Hmm.
But the other thing that I didn't like seven, not seven, but 13, I did kind of like that fighting system, but not so much.
Hmm.
But I think they should leave it like seven, where you can either step forward, stay there, or move back. That's all the movement I want.
So
So
when's the last time you played a turn-based RPG though?
last time I played a turn-based RPG would have to be what's that game? Project X Zone
That was a strategy RPG.
strategy. Yeah, that's right. That was
Yeah, I
strategy.
guess it's kind of turn based because you take turns, but that's like a different genre.
Yeah. Um.
By the way, a sequel was announced that's coming out next year in America.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
serious.
I guess we'll say that for Nintendo and Nintendo Cast.
Oh, it was announced prior to E3, but yes, yeah, we'll save it. I don't see it on Mike's list, but Mike, if you're listening, add that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I haven't had a chance to play Resident Evil the new one, so I'm still
Right?
gonna download it. But I'll be okay if they just keep it um just like seven, but just make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I don't know. I mean, after all these debates, because I was kind of against it. I was like, "There's no way you're gonna make the fans happy, because if you make it too much like the original, people are gonna say it's an old game. If you change it too much, people are gonna say that you redubbed a classic. It's like
You
George
change.
Lucas has changed to Star Wars. You know what I mean? But at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, well, either way, I'll buy the game. So it's one of
Either way
those
it goes,
things,
they're getting your money.
right? I mean, truthfully, yeah, they're gonna get my money. And I'm not even as big as a Final Fantasy VII fan as you. Like for me, I read this article kind of in passing, so I can't tell you too many details about it. But apparently, 5 and 6 are also gonna get an HD remake, and that to me is way more exciting than Final Fantasy VII. So
See, that the reason that's kind of exciting to me is because I didn't play those. The only Final Fantasies I played, I've only played 7, 8,
mm,
and 13.
I got you.
So I didn't play 10, so I'm still gonna buy that eventually. But with
Hmm.
Arkham Knight coming out Tuesday, that's gonna take my life.
Yeah. You know what? Since you just brought up Arkham Knight, I'll segue into that, and we'll come back around. So they showed off the new Arkham Knight gameplay, and they finally showed why that game's gonna have an M rating. Wow. Did you?
What
Oh,
happened?
so the game, it looks like this may be the beginning, but I'm not sure. They didn't confirm or deny anything. But you start out in first person mode as a police officer. You walk into a diner, and a guy's like, "Hey, there's a guy smoking in the corner." So your cop is like, all right, I'll go talk to him. So he walks over to this guy and he's like, hey, there's no smoking in here. Next thing you know, the guy looks up and he's got like this monster face. Apparently, he's letting off fear toxin inside of this diner. So in this cop's head, all these people are attacking him. So he starts popping them off one by one. And he's shooting like civilians basically, but in his mind, they're people. It was really awesome trailer. Everybody should check it out. It's a awesome teaser before the game comes out too. Like I'd imagine that's going to help sales a bit. And I think that they also reiterated that it's going to have exclusive content on PS4. I think just skins, but it may be maps as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Look it up.
it's a couple of maps.
Yeah. So, on to the next part. Devolver Digital is back. Those guys are awesome.
Wait. So we just talked about Arkham Knight. So we do have to talk about the elephant in the room, sir.
Okay, being.
The Batmobile edition.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, did you read the article I was telling you about?
Nope.
What- Okay, so let me bring the people up to up to par on this. So Batman, Arkham, Arkham Knight, Arkham is it Arkham Knight?
Yeah.
Okay. So the game, the limited edition post pre-orders are starting to be canceled, and due to quality issues, that entire edition has been canceled. Now, keep in mind, there's about three different special editions in America.
Four.
There's the Batmobile edition. There's the Statue edition, the one
The
me and
comic,
you are getting, Glenn.
the comic book.
The comic book edition, and I think GameStop is going to have a exclusive edition as well, but I'm not sure. Um, But that top tier, I think, how much was that, Glenn? Was it 150?
200.
$200. So $200, you got like everything that was in the statue edition and a Batmobile. And they canceled it due to quality issues.
It
That
was made by
sucks.
Triforce, by the way.
Oh, it was from Triforce. Wow,
I
that's interesting.
believe because
Huh?
that's who's making the Halo Master Chief. I mean, not Halo Guardian stuff. We'll get on that later.
Yeah, we'll get on that later. But that sucks because people that had that edition pre-order, all they have to pre-order now is the regular edition. Like they can't get the statue edition because that's probably sold out. But at the same time, I'd rather them cancel it than give me a crappy limited edition. Because like I remember I got God of War, I think it was Ascension, and as I was taking a little figure out, I broke his leg. You know what I mean? So I'd
But
rather them cancel what will be a crappy edition than put it out and be like, hey, well, pay for it, whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's not like you can take a special edition back because the little plastic toy is broken.
right,
As a person that used to work at a game store, I can tell you we will not let you return that.
yeah, like oh man, I just really wonder what they are going to do for the people who pre-ordered the Batmobile edition.
From what I hear, nothing so far. But at the same time, in the past,
There's no way.
uh, well, in the past, when they cancel your pre-orders, they usually try to do something in goodwill. Like I remember Forza 5, people that pre-ordered the limited edition, which is actually really limited. If they couldn't give you that, they would give you a $40 to $60 gift card. But that's completely up to the retailers of what they want to do. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I just kind of briefed over the article, but yeah, apparently the top tier is being canceled.
Right.
Sucks, but
It
it's
makes me
$200 for a card.
feel not as bad as I did because you know how mad I was.
Yeah, it's sold out in about a day.
Yeah, I was pissed when I couldn't get it. I was pissed for months that I
Right.
couldn't get that one. And now I'm like, oh, it's not so bad.
Now you know what's gonna happen though. There's gonna be a few of those editions that leak out somewhere, and they're gonna go on eBay, and they're gonna be like $1 billion.
Right. Hey, if you want to give me your real Batmobile, you can have this one.
Right. You
That's
can
how
give
it's
me
gonna
your
be.
kidney, and I will give you this Batmobile edition.
Even though I didn't get it, I did want to see it unboxed.
Yeah, I did too. I did too, buddy. But I mean, honestly, if you consider for $40 compared to other limited editions, the statue edition isn't too bad.
Yeah, the statue edition not bad at all.
Yeah,
All right, so I'm happy I got that.
yeah,
And this will
yeah,
be like the first game that I've ever ordered on.
yeah, yeah. You kept worrying that they're gonna charge you too early. I thought that was kind of funny.
No, it wasn't even that. It's just that I want it the day it comes out.
Oh, did Amazon send you an email telling you they updated you to same day delivery?
I haven't checked my email.
You might need to check on that. Anyways, by the way, I just wanted to remind people of our Twitter. It's at dangerously smart, and that's smart without the A because we were too dumb to add the A. No, it doesn't. It doesn't allow us that many characters. So that's at dangerously smart, smart without the A. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to bring that up. Anyways, let's move on. I was talking about Devolver Digital. These guys are awesome. They're like indie developers from all around the world. I guess they're kind of a publishing house because it's not one developer. They did the what is it, Miami Nights games? Internet attack me. It's gonna be so bad. Anyway, they do a whole bunch of good cool stuff. I know they did Shadow Warrior and a bunch of other cool stuff, and they announced 4 games that will be debuting first on PS4. I don't know if that means that they won't come to Xbox or if they're also coming to PC, but the wordage that they used was debuting first on PlayStation 4.
Oh,
Um, go
there
ahead,
was
Glenn.
something I wanted to mention about speaking of games coming to other systems. No Man's Sky, I believe. Yeah, that's coming out on PC.
Yeah, I already mentioned that. Weren't you listening?
I might have been.
Anyways, Um, so the first game they announced is a game called Ronin, which is like a side-scrolling Metroidvania-esque game. It looks pretty awesome. Everybody should check it out. The other game is EITR, Eater, I'd imagine. Um, and that's like a really bloody, it's gauntlet single player esque game. Check it out. It looks awesome. And the most impressive of the four, Mother Russia Bleeds. If you like Streets of Rage and blood and craziness, check it out.
Wait,
And
that's gonna be like, oh, hey, this might be the best game ever for me then, because I've
yeah,
been waiting on a modern Streets of Rage game, like even more so than Final Fantasy VII.
yeah, you should look at the trailer. Go to YouTube and put in Mother Russia Bleeds.
Doing it
I
right
would
now.
say that's probably on my sleeper list because that is one of the ones that I'm most excited for. And Crossing Souls, the best way to describe Crossing Souls, it reminds me of, um, man, what is that? So and so versus the world. Help me out.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world. It kind of has that kind of 8-bit art style, but it also kind of reminds me of. And if Mike was here, he could help me out on this because he's a big fan of this. It's a YouTube series, High School Battle or something like that.
High School of the Dead? No, not High School of the Dead.
High School
Um,
something.
is it like Hunger Games kind of sort of?
No, no, it's hard to describe. Look it up. Look it up, people. You all
Battle
have the
Royale?
internet. Huh?
No, shit, I don't know.
It's from Rocket Jump. So I don't remember.
Oh, Video Game High School.
Video Game High School. Yeah. So check that out. It's like it's similar to that, at least in my eyes. So yeah, you should check that out. It's pretty cool. Um, let's see. Oh, and here's the biggest WTF. Where did this come from? Surprise of the night. Um, Shinmu 3.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's really
How do you,
weird.
how do you feel about that, good sir?
I mean, so I tried to play Shenmue 2 on Xbox, and mind you, I played it really late when the gameplay was outdated, so I didn't really get an appreciation for it. So I would definitely be down for open world Japanese um plot first over action, kind of game. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. And interesting thing about that, it has already broken the Guinness's world record for highest grossing um, funded game through Kickstarter. Because oddly enough, at E3 they they said, "Hey, if you want this game to happen, go to Kickstarter." So I'm reading the article now, and this just came out an hour ago from Luke Riley at IGN. He's the British guy. Um, they've reached $5 million so far. And
Wow.
keep in mind that they only announced it a few hours ago, and I think they hit their goal in 8 hours. So it is the fastest grossing game. So it's huge. And honestly, if you're interested in this game at all, I would say this is one of the few games where I would say back it because you can get it digitally for $30, whereas it's going to be a $60 like retail game. So interesting. The one thing I want to point out about this, they're kind of being quiet about Sega's involvement because it's a Sega property, but they're not really talking about Sega funding it. You know what I mean? Because essentially, it's almost like if EA was like, "Hey, you want a new Battlefront? Give us money for it." You know what I mean?
Right.
But I guess we won't talk about that. We're so excited about Shenmue that we'll just pay for it in advance. So yeah, that's exciting. I guess I'm not a huge fan of it. I didn't really have a Dreamcast. I played Shenmue 2, but I didn't get it. But the cool thing about Shenmue, I will say, is that it Like they used to have like mini games you can unlock. So you would go into a pachinko machine, and then in that pachinko machine, if you played well enough, you unlocked classic Sega games, and that'd be awesome if they brought that back. So that'll be interesting. I hope they do something to kind of bring you up to speed if you didn't play one and two. But yeah, that's exciting.
Or don't remember 1 and 2 because it was so long ago.
Yeah, or so long ago, right? There's a lot of like old games being brought back. I guess video games reflect movies a little bit right now, huh?
Mm. Yes, they do.
Anyways, surprisingly, the Project Morpheus, they showed it off, but they didn't show off very much of it. And I don't know if that's because they're cooling down on it, or if that's because there's no real way to show it at E3 because you have to experience it. But they showed off Project Morpheus. They showed off a game called Riggs from Gorilla Cambridge, which is a multiplayer based game. The thing that they're trying to angle with the Morpheus over other VR headsets, because apparently another one got announced. I don't remember the details, but it's from a developer. I forgot the developer's name, but another one got announced. Um, so there's a lot of little VR headsets popping up, but they only spent like a few minutes talking about it, which is weird because Project Morpheus is supposed to debut early next year. So it makes me wonder if this is going to be delayed. Are you going to have games ready? Because typically, even with the Move, I don't know if you remember the PlayStation Move. When that debuted, they had games to show you to, even third party games like, hey, this is going to be supporting that. In this particular case, they didn't even have a list of upcoming Project Morpheus games, so it makes me wonder what's going to happen with that. But we'll see. It's one of those things I think you probably appreciate more if you experience. So maybe they're just waiting on us to be at E3 next year.
Yeah, I'll be there.
There you go. I'll be right there with you, buddy. Uh, Arguably the most exciting night news of the night. Um, PlayStation View. This is the subscription service, TV subscription service that PlayStation offers. They have officially um, changed the industry, maybe. So they are the first to allow you to subscribe to channels a la carte. You don't have to sign up for packages. If you just want Showtime, if you just want HBO, if you just want well, I'm not sure if HBO is in that package, but HBO is offered, but I think Showtime is. But if you just want one channel, you can do that. You don't have to sign up for an entire package as far as channels goes, which is really interesting and innovative. It'll be interesting to see how people adopt that because a lot of people say that's the future of television. And they also made sure they pointed out that if you're a PlayStation Plus user, the packages will be discounted. It's not rolled out all across America, but most of the major cities have it. And St. Louis is not a major city. Glenn, go ahead and comment on this.
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about it. I knew about the PlayStation View service,
Hmm.
but I never really looked it up. So I really don't know enough about it to speak on it.
No, I mean, what do you think about the a la carte thing? That's something that everybody's been talking about doing for a long time, but it's never been done. And even companies like what was that, Snapdragon, I think, that invested like a lot of money into making that a possibility, and it didn't happen. So, what do you think about the premise of just being able to subscribe to one channel?
I think it's cool depending on how much they make it.
Right. That's the big complaint about the service right now. People are saying that PlayStation View is too expensive. But I would definitely say, like, if I was a cable cutter, I'm not a cable cutter. I got all the channels. But if I was a cable cutter, um, I would definitely be interested in just subscribing to a few channels. Glenn, if you could do that, what channels would you pick?
Oh man, that's a tough one. It would have been G4 back in the day, but honestly, of course ABC, NBC, of course my
But you
news
can get
channel.
those over the air.
Oh, I can't really think, man. I mean, I know sci-fi. That would be one.
Hmm.
Um,
I think you would probably do like the news channels, like the BBC, CNN. Knowing you.
yeah. Um, Sports channels here and there because I don't watch sports like I used to, but I'll watch it from time to time.
Yeah,
Um,
and that alone like is huge because ESPN, just being able to subscribe to ESPN, that's all a lot of people watch. Like they watch, somebody made this analogy once that men watch ESPN all day and women watch E Entertainment all day, and it's like the same coverage over and over, just said different ways. And that was a nice analogy. I was like, I never really thought about it like that.
I kind of thought about that one. I think about that one now with CNN because CNN they have like different shows and different hosts, and they
Hmm.
talk about the same exact thing, but it's just like
Right,
a different point of view.
right,
And then they loop the shows, and then you hear the same point of view twice, you know.
right.
But the one thing I do, not, just to kind of get off subject a little bit, like I like BBC a little better, BBC News,
Hmm.
because they just touch on everything.
I think you just like the accents.
No, I mean, it's a good show. They have a lot of good shows. Like I like Click. Click is cool. They show a lot of tech news, and then Travel Channel is cool because they give you a bunch of tips, show you a bunch of cool places to go, and then they cover like news like from everywhere. So that's what I like about it.
Cool.
But yeah,
Good
so
conversation.
I really
I
don't know
play.
what else I would subscribe to, man. I mean, that's like, do the Disney channels count, like the cartoon channels, like Cartoon Network and stuff like that?
Well, I don't know their lineup, but I'm just saying, like, of any channel, what would you pick if you can only pick a few?
Cartoon Network, Disney XD,
Hmm.
um, Sci-Fi, of course, the news channels. Um, that's all I can think of right now.
All right. Yeah. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. Because the one thing I always think about, as far as like picking your own channel, you may end up paying more depending on how many channels that you're interested in.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at The Verge, and they had a thing for cable cutters to where they showed you how much it would cost. Like, let's say if you had like this company in these channels, then it would say, okay, here's how much it would be to have just internet, Hulu, plus HBO, plus Showtime Anytime, plus Netflix, and it
Hmm.
would kind of show it and add up, so it kind of equals out to the same as cable.
Wow, that's something to think about.
Yeah, because I thought about that because like before I had cable, I was like, oh, what if I just had internet? Like, could I
Right.
survive with just Hulu and Amazon Prime Video and
Right.
stuff? So yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's so much stuff that comes with it. Like, say for example, like I don't know if they put into the account that the DVR prices.
yeah.
Oh, okay, they did because
Oh
everybody's
no, they did.
are different per company. And then I think satellite companies let you buy your DVR. I'm not 100% sure on that though. So yeah, craziness. But we could talk about cable for days. Call of Duty DLC will be first on PS4. As you may know, it's been first on Xbox One since the Xbox 360 days. So Xbox platform, I should say, since the Xbox 360 days. So I'd say like the last, I think, four, maybe five Call of Duties had all the DLC first on the Xbox platform. So it's now switching over to PS4. Um, I will say that they showed off the new Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's the first time I actually got interested in it because when they first announced it, I was like, oh, okay. But this was actually pretty interesting. So they actually have a four-player campaign co-op.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, and it's from Treyarch. They're the ones that usually do the kind of off-the-wall crazy stuff. Because if you remember World of War, that was the first one to have campaign co-op. So I like Treyarch because they usually think outside the box more than Infinity Ward and the other guys do. And this seems like a nice mixture between Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare as far as like how the game plays. So interesting stuff. Also, the beta is going to be on PS4 first. Another beta. They showed a quick Until Dawn trailer, but they didn't really talk about it much. Hopefully, it'll be coming out soon because I'm tired of watching trailers for it. Just put it out. They showed off Disney Infinity 3.0, which is going to have Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel characters. They have an exclusive bundle coming to PS4, and apparently the Boba Fett figure will be exclusive in that pack,
Nice.
starter pack. I mean, that's nice, but at the same time, like you are a big Star Wars fan. But if you got the game, you'll probably get it on Xbox. So you won't be able to get that Boba Fett figure because he's only going to be in the PlayStation Starter bundle. How do you feel about that?
That's kind of that's like the other thing that's getting on my nerves because like my first enemy was DLC. I was like, okay, DLC, I had enough of you and your crap. So now I'm battling with exclusivity. It's like,
Right.
oh, so you like this game, but you like this system. Well, to convert you over to our side, here's this thing that you can only get here, but you want it there. But guess what? You can't have it there. You have to come here to get it. So make a choice. I don't like that
Well,
because like
go ahead.
because let's say for instance like Street Fighter,
Hmm.
that is something that's always been on every system. Now it's like, hey, it's strictly on PS4. Granted, I'm still gonna buy it on PS4 because I have one. But what if I didn't have one and I'm a fighting game fan? So that means I have to go out and buy a whole new system to play one of the best fighting games, assuming that it was going to come out on both platforms, like Marvel vs. Capcom. So you're going to take this one and just put it to where I can't get it if I don't have that system. And even like with the whole Batman Arkham Knight stuff, there's I'm going to love that game. I already know it,
Hmm.
but I just know that I forgot exactly what it was. But PlayStation has something exclusive to it that I really want, but I'm an Xbox One person, so I'm
Hmm.
not gonna get that if unless I buy the game twice.
I mean, it's a single player game. What system does it matter that you play it on?
Well, I know, but I just like the Xbox better. That's
Oh,
just
I
me.
got you. My thing about what you're saying, I definitely understand what you mean, and that could be a conversation, a topic in itself. But one thing I'll definitely say about exclusivity is it's always been a factor in gaming. Like I remember growing up with a PlayStation One, I didn't have a 64. I couldn't play Turok. I couldn't play Perfect Dark. There were a bunch of games that I just couldn't get my hands on. But as a PlayStation guy, I could play all the Square Enix games. Um, there's so many awesome JRPGs. So that's always kind of been the industry, like especially with Japanese in America. Like Japanese developers tend to stay with Japanese hardware manufacturers, and American, tend to stick with the American hardware manufacturers, which is why Nintendo's in like a weird place. So I think that's always been a factor. The thing that makes it weird now is that it seems more money driven now. I think it's always has been, but I guess we're just wiser now as adults. Because back in the day when they said, "Oh, Soul Calibur 3 is going to be a PlayStation 2 exclusive," you were like, "Oh, that sucks," but there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because I don't know if you remember, Soul Calibur 2 was on every system, and I personally played as Link because he was awesome. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, and then Soul Calibur 3 was a PlayStation 2 exclusive, even though it's sold best on GameCube. So just all kind of weirdness sometimes. To close out, no, I'm sorry. Before we go to the close out, they talked about Star Wars Battlefront. They showed off the new Star Wars Battlefront trailer at the end of the um, Sony press conference. It looked awesome as usual, really
Oh,
impressive.
I loved it.
Um, the thing that kind of scares me about this game is one thing you guys don't talk about and that you don't realize is that when uh, Marvel bought the rights. No, I'm sorry, not Marvel. When Disney bought the rights to Star Wars, that was what 2 years ago.
Yep.
So that's how long they've had to make this game. Typically, games take longer than 2 years to make. So I'm wondering if there's going to be Skeet on. product? Like, will it be like, will it like lack story? I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop on it, but at the same time, it looks amazing, and I can't wait to play it. And they just showed off so much stuff that like we can spend like hours talking about because they've got like this cool little bubble shield for like the little stormtrooper. I could talk about it forever. It looks awesome. Everybody should check out the trailer. It looks great. Um, and then they closed it with Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, and they showed off some car section of the game, which to my memory, to my recollection, I don't think you've ever had to drive in Uncharted. Glenn, do you remember any driving sections in Uncharted?
No, darn it.
Yeah, so that's a first for the system for the franchise, at least in my memory. And I mean, as usual, the game looks amazing. They delayed it. It's not coming out this year. It's gonna come out next year, which for me, it kind of sucks. But I'm rather the game be ready when it comes out. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there'll be an abundance of games to play. It's a weird thing for PlayStation though because they don't really have a big exclusive franchise again at the end of the year. But it didn't seem to slow them down this year. They sold what 23 million consoles,
Right.
which is crazy because Wii U hasn't even sold 10 yet, and they've been out longer. Um,
They did that to themselves, but we'll touch on that.
yeah, I guess that'll be on our Nintendo coverage.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to. Oh, go ahead, Glenn.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Wow. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming out. That is our PlayStation coverage. We just kind of wanted to give kind of a breakdown of what the press conference was, show our thoughts about it, and please sure to stay tuned for our other podcasts. Mike will be with us for the Nintendo stuff, and we're also going to do one for the third party stuff. Don't forget we have the 90s podcast coming as well. 90s podcast part 2, so definitely stay tuned for that. And the Xbox press conference will be me and Michael Man Glenn here again. Glenn's falling asleep. Um, Make sure you reach out to us though. Our email is dangerously smart314@gmail.com. That's dangerously smart314@gmail.com. Our Facebook is facebook.com/dangerously smart314. Our Twitter at dangerously smart. That's smart without the A. Our Instagram, ugh, we have too much social media, man.
Oh, there'll be more.
Instagram.com/dangerously smart 314. No one cares about Blogger, so you can just Google that. Don't forget about our partners in crimes, our sister site, STL Tech Talk. You can check those guys out. Uh, www.stltechtalk.com. If you go to /games, you'll see our sections. We're also on Real Gamer News, another local site. That's www.realgamernews.com. We want to give shout outs to our guys at STL Bar. That's STL Bar Wars with a Z. So www.stlbarwars with a Z.com. Nerdgasm, that's man, so much stuff. www.facebook.com/groups/nerdgasm365. Um, that's enough. That is enough. Shout outs and, and social media links. Um, but please remember, we love your feedback. Whether you're on iTunes, YouTube, whatever, just show us some love and tell us what you think. We love you. Once again, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and please believe we appreciate that. More exciting content coming, by the way. We are definitely in the kitchen cooking up some stuff. So if you have any suggestions or anything you want us to talk about, please send it on those millions of links I just read to you. Anyways, thank you guys. Glenn, you got anything to add?
I do not.
All right, deuces.
All right, we're out.